girls. 8 girls teams and 8 boys teams are vying for a state championship at Bryce Jordan Center, University Park, Pennsylvania. So sit back and enjoy this production that's being brought to you by the Pennsylvania Cable Network.
Tonight for the Bryce Jordan on the campus of the Pennsylvania Network Boys Basketball Championship. Our matchup, the 30-1 Chester Clippers and the 27-3 Mount Lebanon Blue Devils. Good evening, everyone. My name is Bob McCool. My partner is Gary Sutton. There's a buzz in the air in the Basketball State Championships, Gary Sutton, because the Chester Clippers are here in town.
Geez, they've been away for a year or two, haven't they? And now they're back in town again. 16th appearance in the championship game here. They had all kinds of records for numbers of appearances here over the years, but when Chester gets in town, you know there's a lot of excitement.
And we see the map from where these two teams come from. Again, Chester from Delaware County and Mount Lebanon from Allegheny County. It is, again, east, west, meeting in the middle here at University Park. The Chester Clippers, 20 times district champions, as Gary has said, 6-time district champions, but there's a new face in charge of the Clippers.
Yeah, his name is Larry Yarbray. He is in his 3rd season, a record of 70-17, and he is the 22nd coach in the history of Chester, and they've had some great ones. Of course, we all remember Fred Pickett and people before that, but I'll tell you what, Larry Yarbray is getting it done. He was an assistant for 10 years to Fred Pickett, so he knows the system pretty well. They haven't exactly changed anything at Chester. They continue to play the same way. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. Another name that maybe is a little bit familiar, at least the last name, is number 4. His name is Bryce Nelson. He's a 5'11" senior, and yeah, his brother is Jameer Nelson, who plays for the Orlando Magic. He's averaging 11.4 points a game and dishing out about 3 assists a game. He is one of 10 Clippers that you'll see here tonight. But I'll tell you what, this kid is special. He can play the game well. He's got a good floor sense, and at the open is about as good as you get.
On the flip side of things, obviously Mount Lebanon is the clear underdog, and almost anybody who plays Chester is pretty much the underdog. But this is a basketball program that's lost 5 games in 2 years.
Yeah, not too bad. Joe David's in his 10th season, 204-78 during that time. And he's got an outstanding club back this year. Got a little extra motivation tonight. They'd like to have 2 gold medals to take home this weekend. Their girls won last night. And there you see Joe David. Pretty good record over that period of time. Looks like 20 wins a season to me, and I think by any measuring stick, that's pretty good. And one of the reasons why he's got a big guy in there tonight, number 33, Paul Lang. 6'5", he's a senior. Yeah, he's been a 4-year starter, a 1,000-point scorer. He's also a heck of a tight end. He's going to Michigan State next year, but tonight, I don't think Michigan State's anywhere on his mind. Just that little gold color up there tonight is what he's looking for with his team.
And we take a look at the teams that were in the path of these two teams to get to the state championship. Chester started out with a win over District 3's Dallastown, then Westchester Ruston, District 12 runner-up LaSalle, and then a familiar foe, the defending state champion, the Plymouth Whitemarsh Colonials in the semifinals. As for Mount Lebanon, they took care of Shenley. They actually had to play an extra game, a play-in game, to get to buy Shenley, then State College Gateway, the District 7 champion. Mount Lebanon is the 4 seed. They beat the 3 seed as well, Butler, and then Penwood, the defending runner-up from a year ago. So this Mount Lebanon team has seen teams, Gary, who are similar to what Chester can do. As we take a look at the starting lineups for both of these two teams, again, it is a very deep Chester basketball team. They have 10 guys in uniform. They'll use them all, and they all can play the game exceptionally well. Mount Lebanon is a very physical basketball team. A lot of football players out there. They will bang inside with Chester to the best of their abilities. We'll see how it all plays itself out. The PIAA Class Quad H State Championship game, the Chester Clippers and the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils. There is your starting 5 for both sides. And you see Richard Granberry, Eric Wright, DeQuan Walker, and Lamont Church, all guys who can bang, and Church and Walker also can go outside and shoot from the perimeter in addition to lying inside. Evan Eaton is actually their leading scorer at 15+ points per game, and a lot of really, really good athletes for the Blue Devils from Mount Lebanon High School. And here are the starting lineups for both teams.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the PIAA and the Bryce Jordan Center, we thank you for your attendance and welcome you to the 2011 PIAA Class Quad A Boys State Championship between the Clippers of Chester and the Blue Devils of Mount Lebanon. Now let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visiting team, the District 1 champs, the Clippers of Chester. At guard, a 5'11" senior, number 4, Maurice Nelson. At forward, a 6'4" senior, number 31, Lamont Church. At guard, a 6'3" senior, number 32, Daquan Walker. At forward, a 6'3" junior, number 35, Eric Wright. And at forward, a 6'5" sophomore, number 40, Richard Granberry. The Clippers are led by head coach Larry Yarbray Sr., assisted by Derek Spence, Brian Warren, James Dennis, John Carter, Kenny Harris, and Terry Thomas. The principal of Chester is Darla Hammond, and the athletic director is Jeffrey Leggett. Now let's meet the starters for the home team, the District 7 champs, the Blue Devils of Mount Lebanon. At guard, a 6'3" senior, number 5, Evan Eaton. At guard, a 6' junior, number 12, Luke Hagee. At guard, a 6'2" sophomore, number 20, Tyler Roth. At forward, a 6'4" senior, number 22, George Hensler. And at forward, a 6'5" senior, number 33, Paul Lang. The Blue Devils are led by head coach Joe David. Assistant coaches are Tyler Blooming, Bill Boyd, George Elias, Bill Garvey, and Joe Ehrman. The principal of Mount Lebanon is Dr. Ron Davis, and the athletic director of the Blue Devils, John Grogan. Tonight's officials are Christopher Foltz, Craig Bradley, and Timothy Hughes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we ask you to please rise and remove your hats as we honor America and those currently serving her with the singing of our national anthem by Rebecca Del Grande. Our colors tonight presented by the Marion Center High School Air Force Junior ROTC.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the
The Chester Clippers, the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils, as we get you set for the grand finale of the PIAA State Championships for 2011. Blue Devils 27-3. They finished 13-1 as part of the WPIAL Section 4, end up as the 4 seed coming out of District 7. The Chester Clippers 30-1 on the season, 10-0 to win the Del Val League. And again, the District 1 champions for the 20th time. They beat Council Rock North 66-43 for that district championship. The 3-man officiating crew for this PIAA Quad A Championship: Chris Foltz, Craig Bradley, and Tim Hughes out of District 3. And we are about ready to get things underway. The Clippers will be the visiting team in the black and white trim, and the Blue Devils in the whites with the blue trim. There's a good look at Joe David, the 10th-year head basketball coach. Played college basketball at Pitt, was a 1986 grad of Pitt, played for the Pitt Panthers. Larry Yarbrough, a graduate of Chester High School in 1988, a big part of that legacy of Chester High School basketball. Went on to play his college basketball at Coppin State. And the Quad A Championship is underway. Tipped and tipped out of bounds. Last touch by the Clippers. And so it will be Mount Lebanon basketball in the first possession.
This is going to be a battle of really two tales. Mount Lebanon has got to stay at a half-court game for the most part. Playing Chester's like playing waves coming at you all the time. You can't get by into their speed.
Luke Hagee runs the point. He's the quarterback on the football team, just a sophomore, so he runs the directions for the football team as well as the basketball team out of the point as they run a double stack with Lang and now George Hensler both touching the basketball.
Your thinking tonight has to really be make your offense part of your defense.
Hensler with a pump fake, deliberate possession. Outside 2 from Luke Hagee comes up short, and here come the Clippers. Eric Wright drawing contact, or let me correct myself, that's Daquan Walker drawing contact, gets the bucket and the foul.
Much as we saw earlier in the day with Imhotep, every missed shot becomes an attack advantage here. Chester goes right down the floor quickly and get right on the glass. And then hopefully they will make it. If they don't, they've got 3 or 4 guys up there on the offensive glass to put it back for them.
So the first foul of the basketball game will be called on 6-foot junior Luke Hagee for Mount Lebanon, sending Daquan Walker to the foul line. Walker, a 70% foul shooter in a season, averages 9 points per game for the Clippers, and it's a 3-0 Chester lead. And that, of course, will allow the Clippers to apply that full court pressure defense and come out of the try to force a trap.
And it's a good trapping press. You really have to have 3 near outlets on this one. 1 in the middle, 1 on the side, and 1 back to the top.
Working his way inside, Lang comes up empty off the power move along the baseline.
Like Lang's move, though. Good challenge on the baseline.
Nelson for 3, right corner, comes up empty. And the Blue Devils do a good job boxing out. And Tyler Roth comes away with the rebound. And now we're going to get stoppage of play as there's some debris on the floor. So the officials stopping play, make sure we don't have an accident of any kind. And the Blue Devils will use that to their advantage as we take a look at the website, www.pcntv.com. All the rosters for these basketball teams have been up all weekend long. If you want to follow along at home and you want to tell the players with the number, you can do so with the rosters on our website. Evan Eaton taking ball to the bucket, drawing his contact, first foul against the Clippers.
Good lob call on the sideline there, a back screen, and then you come off and you leave with the lob, drawing the foul. You've got to get to the front of the iron here as much as possible, and Evan Eaton did that time. He'll go to the line for 2.
6'5" sophomore Richard Granberry on the foul for the Clippers. And Eaton, along with Paul Lang, the top 2 scorers, both at 15 points per game. Luke Hagee at 10, Tyler Roth at 9. Hensler, kind of the role player, guy does a little bit of everything in the dirty work column. The 5th starter for the Blue Devils as Eaton goes 2 for 2.
Little press coming back here. This is going to be kind of more of a patient press to slow Chester down a bit if that's possible.
Granberry comes back out as a safety valve at half court.
So it is a 1-2-2. Just slow him down and look at him split.
Walker takes it across half court. He finds Eric Wright inside for 2. Quickly back the other way. Eaton going to go flying high, but comes up too strong, and Wright hustles down to get the rebound.
Here they come right away, attacking.
Great pass up ahead from Walker to Lamont Church, but he could not finish. Fight for the rebound. Granberry wins the battle.
There's the story right there. Attack, get it up on the glass. If you miss it, you got people to offensive rebound. That is the formula right there for Chester.
And fly at you from all angles and all waves defensively is the other piece of the puzzle. Nelson getting away with a little bit of a grab, but a good job by Hagee to take it right to the hole. Luke Hagee not to be denied.
It's going to be a game of transition tonight. Defensive transition for Mount Lebanon, offensive transition for Chester.
7-4 the score now. Chester on top. Luke Hagee's used to running with people wrapped around him. He's an outstanding running back for the Blue Devils.
They switch looks again here. They got a little bit of a 3-2 now, or 1-2-2 if you like.
Right into the corner to Church. Back out top to Nelson. Walker inside for Wright for the fadeaway, no good. Tacking the glass one more time. Church comes up empty. Granberry gets knocked to the deck. He'll shoot 2.
Missed shot, 2 offensive rebounds. I mean, you have got to put bodies on people when you play Chester, and that's not even a sure thing. Look at this. Get up there hard, miss, 1 rebound, and then the foul.
Foul going to be called on Hensler. That's his first, team's second, so Granberry will shoot 2. Granberry, a 66% foul shooter. And he's pure on the first.
I've often wondered over the years when I watch Chester if they have a ping pong drill back and forth over the basket there just to get used to timing. It almost seems like that when you watch them play. I know it's not. They're trying to make it, obviously, but they spring constantly.
They attack the rim like a volleyball net. And Granberry able to attack the rim with a little bit of a line drive foul shot that somehow or another bounces up and over the top, and he makes both of them. It's a 9-4 Clipper lead. Again, good job by Mount Lebanon to get across half court. Ball poked out of bounds by Lamont Church defensively. Mount Lebanon will inbound right near the Clipper bench. 5:22 left, first period of play. Chester on top 9-4. Clippers have led from the start. Hensler has it stripped out of his hands by Wright. Wright trying to run the floor ahead of the pack. Hensler gets back to get his hand on it, but gets contact as well. And that's going to be his second.
You can't really get tight together like that with a screen because they're going to double team you every time. And here he comes, going up, brings it down, and you can see the foul there. Good clean foul, but making sure there's no free layup.
So Hensler now with 2 personals. See how long Joe David takes, but he's got a substitute at the scorer's table waiting to come in, as Eric Wright is at the foul line to shoot 2 and makes the first. 4 out of 4 so far for Chester in the foul line. And that substitution coming into the game for the Blue Devils, 6'5" junior Dylan White. Also a member of the football team, was a tight end, a defensive end of the football team, also a very good lacrosse player. His brother Chris plays lacrosse at Princeton. As White goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 11-4 lead in favor of Chester. Nelson again ahead of the pack. And that 1-2-2 trap now. And there's contact and a foul as Eaton gets knocked to the deck. That'll be Granberry, I believe, and that's his second.
You tried to work against the trap, but you have to have someone coming in there in the middle to serve as a near outlet. We talked about that a lot. One on the side, one in the middle, and one reversal.
Granberry.
Right now, the guy in the middle is not that active. Sorry.
Granberry coming out now after picking up his second foul. Into the game comes Rondé Jefferson. Remember that name. 6'5" sophomore. We talked about Maurice Nelson being the younger brother of Jameer. 2000 state champions was led by Jameer Nelson. Raleigh Jefferson, part of the 2008 state championship team. Rondé, his younger brother, out there. And he picks up the foul.
Lamont Church is going to get nailed for the foul.
I stand corrected. First foul on Church, third on Chester. Hagee rubs off a screen, looking for the screen and roll, but couldn't deliver it to Dylan White. Lang going to take matters into his own hands. Spins, draws contact, no foul called. And Chester comes away with it. With
they
Jefferson.
got the numbers.
Tried to speed it off on the wing, but it was poked out of bounds as White got a hand on it, and that will lead us to our first break of the basketball game. 4:38 remaining. The Chester Clippers on top of Mount Lebanon, 11-4.
One of the best moves you can make this year is to have a highlight video of your child's season. Rizzo Productions can produce a professional highlight video of any season, any sport, past or present, with music, titles, and special effects. You can use the video as a recruitment tool for colleges or give it as a gift. Check the website, rizzoproduction.com.
Chester Clippers on top of the Mount Lebanon Blue Devils 11-4. Chester doing what they want to do, and again, they will come with you and at you in waves. So far, only one substitution for the Clippers. They have 10 players in the roster. They will all play, and they all can play. There is Larry Yarbury again in his third season after taking over for Fred Pickett, who retired after that 2008 state championship team. Inbounds play, and Church bounces it right off the back of Lang, who quickly turned around and took it back.
Tried to be a little bit cute on that play, got burned on it.
So Lang alert to the play, turned around, picked it up for the first steal. Great feed inside from Hagee to Eaton, who draws contact. Church, I believe, on the foul. That'll be his second.
There you see Fred Pickett, and Fred Pickett, by the way, has lost a lot of weight. He, I guess he had that operation. He looks great. He was over earlier today, and one of the great people in the game of basketball here in the state of Pennsylvania.
Absolutely, one of the true gentlemen in the game. I saw him before the game. I asked him if you miss it all. He said, today I do.
This game was always on the schedule.
Days like this, when you're playing for a state championship, yeah, I missed the game a lot.
I met him 20 years ago when I started doing this, and he was, I believe, an assistant for Alonzo Lewis then, who was a head basketball coach. I was here and had a state championship.
Evan Eaton goes 2 for 2 at the foul line. Makes it an 11-6 basketball game. Foul, by the way, on the Clippers was not on Church. It was on Eric Wright instead. So Wright with one and Church with one. There's Wright with an offensive rebound for 2 more.
Well, those stickbacks are just killing Mount Lebanon so far, and obviously helping Chester.
6 points for Eric Wright. Eaton does a good job breaking the pressure, drawing contact, but the whistle beforehand on the palming violation. They'll turn it over for Mount Lebanon, their second.
Here again, this is just meant to slow the Clippers down a bit, but once they get to half court, they're going to look to try to penetrate fast.
Jefferson with a pass into the corner. Nelson fakes the 3, goes to the baseline, and a great feed inside for Wright for 2 more.
I'm not sure if I'd invite them on a press. There again, quickly the baseline, penetrate, 2-on-1, you're in.
Evan Eaton trying to attack the glass, gets himself in trouble. They kick it around and swing it back. Roth for 3 and drained it.
Well, that'll help get you back in the game in a hurry.
15-9 as Tyler Roth gets his first points of the basketball game.
You know, the worst part is when you play a press against Chester and they don't notice it. You're getting it down the court and they're saying, we're supposed to be patient? Oh, okay.
Rondé Jefferson, the right wing. Nelson will let it go. Way off the mark. Good job of boxing out that time by the Blue Devils.
Really, at Mount Lebanon, what they have to do right now is just really take everything out of their offense, not out of individual ability so much. Use the pass, use the dribble where they can, and find that one opening like that.
Eaton draws contact one more time. Evan Eaton back to the foul line for the 3rd time in this first quarter.
The one thing you'll notice here with Chester this year, while they're still as quick as they've always been and they play defense the same way, they don't have that presence back of the inside. So you have a chance to attack them a little bit on the baseline, and that's exactly what you're seeing Mount Lebanon doing right now, is go at them inside. There's not really that fear of having the eraser back there that they normally have had.
The 2008 team had a couple of them, not just Raleigh Jefferson, who's now at Temple, but Nasir Robinson, who's at Pitt. And Nasir Robinson, like Raleigh Jefferson, has brother on this basketball team. Actually, Nasir Robinson has 2 brothers, Kareem and Darius. Kareem just checks into the basketball game. He's a 5'7" junior. Darius is a 6-foot sophomore. As Eaton to the foul line goes 1 for 2. So it's a 15-10 game now in favor of the Clippers. No problem for Jefferson to beat the pressure, finding Church inside with a tough move for 2 more.
Somehow you got to make sure that you stop that penetration, and so far the penetration and steals are killing it.
And there's the steal indeed by Wright, by Walker, who finds Wright inside for 2 more.